We have another trade to announce. What are we doing? All right. We're talking Jake Walman going to the Edmonton Oilers right now. This, believe it or not, is Teal Town Live. And with that, good evening to you. Yes, if you're watching this live, it is 11:23 p.m. We're sorry if you're already asleep, but my goodness, the San Jose Sharks have made a trade to send Jake Walman to the Edmonton Oilers. Welcome to Teal Town Live. If you want to be part of the show, chat with us and fellow hockey fans all over the world and in Sharks territory on the YouTube page or the app. You can find everything at tealtownusa.com. If you want to support the pod, you can hit us up with Venmo at tealtownusa or live on the Super Chat. AJ, what's up? I know we were both watching Brody, and then what the hell happened?
I'm looking forward to Teal Town after midnight.
Hopefully not. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm fine. Let's go.
Go to bed.
Okay. So look, it's Walman for a first. We all knew that. We've known that for the last couple of hours. It was what else? What's the other shoe that is going to drop? And evidently that other shoe is Carl Berglund.
Yes. 6'2", 207-pound left shooting forward from Sweden.
Yes, but we're neglecting the most important thing here.
Which is?
We lost a Granlund. We've gotten back a new Lund. So Granlund is gone. Berglund is now here. So the Lund, faction returns. The cabinet has been restocked, as Christopher on Twitter says. Right. So we appreciate that. But and this is something that Landy caught. Another masshole. I don't understand this weird fascination that Greer has with guys that it's coming out of New England.
Right.
Explain it to me. Like, I don't get it.
Right. I don't get it either. Carl Berglund, currently with the Bakersfield Condors, has 2 goals.
Easy trip, I guess.
10 assists, 12 points, plus 2. 8 PIMs. Obviously,
older fellow at 25.
Right. Does he get the call up?
Good God, why?
I don't know.
He's not a defenseman. What are you calling him up for? It's almost weird over like the last couple of days, the pieces that Greer has brought in. It's almost as if Greer realizes that the CUDA are about to get plucked. There are some pieces that are going to get called up to the Sharks. Well, we got to plug those holes somehow.
Are they plugging the holes? These guys, or
yeah, I guess can't bring everybody over from Wichita.
Well, that's my thing. Is this guy going to the CUDA, or is this guy going to the Sharks?
Well, the fact that he's never played in the NHL, to me is a red flag that, yeah, he's going to the CUDA.
Yeah. Molasses saying, if Berglund gets the call up before Boards, Kartsy, Goosh, it would be so dumb, but let's be hindsight. And I know we kind of talked about this on After Dark earlier tonight.
Mike yesterday?
Right. But Mike Greer, GM of the year, perhaps, for turning future considerations into a 2nd-round pick and Jake Walman.
He'll never get the credit for that.
And then gets a 1st-round pick and everything. Now,
he'll never get the credit for that, but I appreciate that there are some people like Boomer on NHL Network Radio. There's a couple people on NHL Network that are giving him his props. And I think, wasn't it early on in this season? Wasn't or maybe it was the end of last season. I can't remember. But I thought sometime over the last 6 to 9 months, wasn't Wojcinski on the train to give him the Adams?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
the GM of the year. Yeah.
So
it's,
but I mean, we also know Wojcinski's record when it comes to like predicting things.
Oh, it's up there with Barry Melrose. Let's be honest here.
No.
So there are conditions to the first round pick. It is top 12 protected because
every pick is protected. Thank you, Doug Wilson.
Yes, exactly. If the selection is in the top 12, Edmonton may choose to transfer their 2027 first round pick to San Jose instead. Should Edmonton choose to trade their 2027 first round pick
prior, for a goaltender,
prior to the 2026 trade deadline, their 2026 first round selection unconditionally
goes to San Jose.
Yeah, it goes to San Jose.
That's fine.
So if they want to move their 2027 first round pick somewhere else, then the conditions come off. So yeah, Jake Walman, I mean, what are you laughing
at? Jerry, it looks like a lawyer wrote those conditions. They absolutely did. Absolutely.
Jerry with the $5 super chat. Sorry, I missed you post game Teal Town yesterday, but I was just finishing watching the replay, and it was another great show. Thanks for the awesome coverage, Jerry. We appreciate you, bud. Thank you very much. I can't believe we have over 40 people watching this right now. That's unbelievable.
Well, yeah, but you know what though? To me, that just speaks volumes. It's one of two things. It's either like that's the really cool thing about the NHL and the trade deadline, that it's that you've got people that are just clamoring like, what's going to happen? Is Rantanen going to Dallas? Is Marchand going to LA? You don't know, but people are jacked. So it's either that, or it's that people think that I'm hammered and they're waiting for me to go off the deep end again. It's one of those two things.
I was waiting for After Midnight with Taylor Tomlinson, but that's beside the point.
I like who was the guy who did the original?
Chris Hardwick.
I really liked Hardwick on that. But anyway,
but I digress. But it's again, it's one of those moves. It's like, okay, you got the first round pick. What are you getting for it? To me,
the other thing is that we're also peeling off some of Brody's viewers right now.
Well, that helps. Tell Brody to come on. I mean, it's not like tell Brody to come on. It's not like he has anything else to do right now.
I know.
I mean, his kid and wife are asleep.
I still don't. So it's a Swede that went through UMass. Again, I don't want to get caught up in the Berglund thing, because career AHLer for the last couple of seasons, and it's not, when you look at the numbers, it's not as if he's like decimating people. In the AHL, 12 games, 4 points. Fine. Now in the ECHL, 42 points in 51 games. Oh, that's, rocking the ECHL. That's fine.
Fort Wayne too.
Huh?
Fort Wayne, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, recognize.
You're welcome.
But this season, 45 games, 12 points. So I'm, and projected 18 points in 66 games. That's not domination for me. That is somebody we're going to give this 6'2" guy, 270 pounds. We're going to give him a look. It's almost like we couldn't. It was either, do you want Berglund or the bag of pucks with the first? Like at this point, this feels like Greer. It's just kind of like, we're looking for warm bodies. Would it have been nice to get a higher level prospect? Sure. But again, getting a first for a guy that you were paid to, a second to take, I feel like this is fine. And I haven't, do you know what Berglund's deal is?
He's a restricted free agent at the end of the year.
Oh, okay. So
and
they can
950,000 cap hit.
There you go. So you get a
season
little
those
bit of a
deals.
look at him. Yeah, you get a little bit of a look at him. See if there's something that your scouts see that Edmonton's didn't, and if not, bye bye.
Are you worried that you're not quite getting a whole lot in return? I mean, yes, you get the first round pick, which of course is huge, but player wise,
if you're getting a first, you weren't going to get much of a player. So I'm not that, I think it's we saw this with something else not too long ago where they got like a first in, something else with it. And it was like, who gives a shit? That first is all we care about. Like this is just making like contract limits work, as Skylar mentions.
yeah. Sharky boy, when does Walman's contract
after next
expire?
season?
Yeah, he's got one more year after this season to finish off. So a nice deal for Edmonton to go on a cup run.
Can we also mention the fact too that and I've yet to see anybody discuss this, the fact that what is this deal that Berglund is on? How much are they paying him? $700K?
$950.
Oh no, $950. How much money did Greer just free up?
Well,
just about $2.5 million.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's you got to. That's Hockey Jerk's second favorite player, cap space. So you freed up. That's the other thing that I mean, and I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying that the opportunity is there. Look at how much space the Sharks have right now. I'm not going to be mad, maybe a little disappointed if Greer doesn't leverage this cap space to perhaps broker a deal, be that third party to eat some money for the rest of this season.
Right.
Like, didn't Detroit just get like paid a fourth to eat a couple $100,000 or something? So like if Greer is able to play that third party broker and get a fifth rounder or something, let's do it.
Yeah.
How much space do the Sharks have right now?
So projected cap space, this is all according to Puckpedia. They're at just a shade under $79.5 million. Current cap space is at $38 million.
Good Lord.
So you have some money to play around with. $8.5 million is your projected cap space.
Okay.
Obviously nothing in LTIR, but they have some wiggle room to do something.
Dude, hear me out. How great would it be? They can only do it if the end of the contract is this year. I was going to say, how funny would it be if they took on some cap space this year to facilitate Erik Karlsson moving out of Pittsburgh and going somewhere else?
Well, see, that's the problem is the retention. I don't even think Pittsburgh has a retention spot either, so we'd have to hit the whole thing.
Okay. So I'm an idiot. You have to have a retention spot to eat money for somebody else's deal, not somebody that came through your system.
And chat, correct me if I'm wrong here. So Pittsburgh has one retaining spot left, so they could move EK65 back here, but
then they have to and then to move them. Oh shit. So what you're telling me is Greer doesn't have the ability to eat any to facilitate.
No,
okay. Now I can understand why people are a little upset about that.
You could be like the Pavel Datsuk or the Chris Pronger from their days with the Desert Dogs.
No, I get it. All right,
so take that to free up a space for that team.
But the Sharks lose a retention spot this year, right? Like next season,
you get one back with Burns. Contract ending.
Okay, so at least you get that for next season. But all right, either way, like again, I know it was the contentious in the chat earlier where some people were like, oh my God, a first is nowhere near enough. And there were other people who were just like, Jesus Christ, you got paid a second and then you flip them for a first. Like that is amazing asset management.
Yep.
How do you not love that? I'm more than fine with it. If Walman is not part of the future, then sure, you can extract a first from a team. Yeah, now, granted, it's not going to be a great first. We're talking about Edmonton. Chances are it's going to be in the bottom 10 of the first round.
Right. You're picking what, maybe 24 to 32? Yeah,
maybe you get lucky. Maybe McDonald, I call him McDonald, Collar McBroken. Maybe he gets injured. You never know.
Jerry making a good point. This reminds me of the Goodrow deal. Yeah, I could see that.
But you know what? See, I feel like Walman has value. Did Goodrow really have value?
I mean, no. I mean, Walman definitely has more value. That's for damn sure, especially with term. Goodrow, I think Tampa just wanted their man in overpaid, kind of like going for it with what they did with Bjorkstrand and Yanni Gord.
Oh, okay, but Big Bird. It sounds like Big Bird is worried that the Sharks are turning into the Oakland Athletics.
Anyone else worried we just become a develop and trade him away? And we would love to know Greer's big picture and what is exactly he is looking for.
Okay, Big Bird. Think about it in a couple of years. All right, you're going to have what a Celebrini that can have a cocktail legally in the Bay Area. Right, he's going to be 21. He's only going to be 21. You're going to have Smith at 22. That is ridiculously young. But you're going to just like 3-4 years from now, think about that. You're going to have Celebrini, you're going to have Smith, you're going to have Chernyshov, you're going to have Musty, you're going to have Dickinson, you're going to have Muka Madulin. If
Halton and Polkamp.
Yeah, if you're lucky, Haltonen, Polkamp, maybe Cagnoni slides in there. Thompson maybe is able to continue what he's doing. Like, I don't think, I'm not saying Thompson's going to be a top 4 guy, but as a 5, 6, 7, I think Thompson is good enough to hold his own. It's one of those things where let's just see 3 or 4 years. I feel much better about the direction of this franchise than I did 3 or 4 years ago when we were all just like, oh my God, Ozzy Weisblatt,
Oh my God, he's not.
Well, dude, there was so much talk about Ozzy. Oh my God, Ozzy Weisblatt's going to save the franchise. And there was a couple other pieces that were taken so early on. And I've made this point, I don't know how many times. You look at that stretch of 10 years of drafting. They took 65 people, 65 players. One of them only one is still on the San Jose roster. And for the last 2 years, for last trade deadline and the current one, was discussed heavily about being moved. And that was Mario Ferraro.
Who could still be moved by...
Exactly. So what does that tell you? Can you imagine the course of 10 years? You've taken 65 players and none of them are on your current roster. That is a staggering lack of draft and development success in my book. Now, granted, a few of those pieces you can sit there and go, well, look, you took Timo Meier and what did that get you back? It got you back Zetterlund and Muka Madulin and blah, blah, blah. And, Hurdle ended up getting you Askarov and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you can do the trade trees, but the fact of the matter is if you draft correctly, you're not trading away those pieces because they're too important to the franchise.
Big time.
But I digress.
Going through some of the chat here, I think Greer is going to leverage higher cap in a few years when Celebrini and Smith are in their prime years, and they got to pay those guys too. That's for sure.
Definitely, and thank God the cap's going up like $20 million over the next 3 years.
I mean, the Sharks, I think, will have to at least spend $20 million just to get to the floor this in the summertime. Kevin, I'm going to say the same thing I said earlier. We don't know how the contract extension talks went. We also know he's been scratched at least once for disciplinary issues. Trade when value highest.
Dude, yeah. Jerry F. speaking my language, reading my mind. the names that we were talking about that were, remember when we were losing our shit over Goldobin, Merkley, and Mueller?
And Shekovich and,
Shemilevsky.
Wolski.
Yeah, but, Goldobin, Merkley, and Mueller, those were guys that were all taken in the first round, if I remember correctly. So that is so key to the point I'm making. So, yeah, Jerry F., thank you so much for that. So I'm, let's see where we're at. And I get it, that I understand that there is a large group of people in the Bay Area that are casual hockey fans that are going, I'll go when they start winning. And let's be honest, that's still probably another 2 to 3 seasons away.
Right. And that's sinking in, I think, a little bit more with some of these moves. Is like, nope, we're not done yet. I think a lot of us were hoping for improvement, and still, I think there's some hope for improvement.
I think there has been an improvement.
There has been improvement, but I think that next step where they're, like we were mentioning, contending for a playoff spot like Utah is at, or what Anaheim is doing, where they're trying to stay in playoff contention. I think that's the next step for that.
Well, I'm a betting guy, and am I betting on this team making the playoffs next year? No. No way in hell. Am I betting on the Sharks? If I was to be asked right now, are you betting on the Sharks to be a playoff bubble team 2 seasons from now? Yes. Yes, I would.
Should be interesting. I'm trying to see if there's anything off of the press release. I think I covered all of it for on the graphic there. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Yeah.
What, you don't have the details from the Rantanen deal yet?
Have you seen some of the rumors that are coming out with that? I mean, Stankoven.
No,
and a first.
You know that I hate the. Hold on, I feel like Jerk was like pushing that narrative. I may be wrong.
I know he had mentioned it earlier.
Oh, he had said like Marchment, Stankoven, and somebody else, and I'm like, if I'm a Stars fan, that would piss me off.
Less than a half an hour ago, Frank Saravalli reporting belief in Dallas in Mikko Rantanen's camp are actively negotiating a new contract with Carolina's permission, and a trade is conditioned on an extension. If that price is met, which it hasn't been yet, then Mikko Rantanen will become a Dallas Star.
Well, it's it's almost 2 a.m. in Dallas, so we'll see what happens. Treybone asking, is it safe to say Cooch is done with us/hockey? I mean, I hate to I don't want to be the guy who's sitting here going, oh, I called it. I think there's more than a few people that, whether you want to call themselves realists or pessimists. I've been a guy that's for quite some time said, I think we've seen the last, unfortunately. I mean, it's been over a year since he's played a game. And if he was getting better, he'd be skating with the team. And
right.
He's not. So I think you go this long at that age with this injury, just had a second child in the last few months, if I'm not mistaken. So at this point, I'm, again, a betting man. I'm pushing all my chips in that we have seen Logan Couture play his final game as a Shark. I mean, final NHL game.
Yeah. It sucks.
And it sucks. Sucks out loud.
I mean, the tough, sad groan that happened at the State of the Sharks when that was mentioned about Logan Couture, and
I respect Greer for saying that, as long as he's under contract, but he's our captain, and I get that to a certain extent. I feel at some point, and it wouldn't surprise me if it happens over this off season, if like maybe Couture has a talk with Greer and says, look, keep me on LTIR or whatever, pay me my money or whatever. But sir, here's your C, hand it out to who it needs to go to.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, it would go to the kid whose name already starts with a C.
Yeah. Celebrini, indeed. I mean, the Logan Couture has 2 more years after the season at $8 million per. Kind of a pseudo, if you want to look at it in a certain way, a fourth retention spot, because we're retaining salary on Logan. They've never really put him on LTIR per se to save money on it. So
No, it's not a reason to.
yeah,
With this trade with Walman, I'm wondering, simply because if memory serves, I thought Edmonton was kind of like in a cap situation. Does that mean that Evander Kane is not coming off LTIR?
that's my guess, is that he's not coming off LTIR until the playoffs.
And I think that's going to piss him off, because he's already come out and said he wanted to play before playoff starts.
Yeah. Currently, according to Puckpedia, their current cap space is a little over $300,000 for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
Enjoy cap the bench. Space, you got an overage.
Yeah.
So
Kane going to be watching from the press box, baby.
So we'll see. And that's got to eat you up too. Edmonton only has a 3rd, 6th, and 7th round pick in this year's draft, so they're all in. As for the Sharks, they have stockpiled. They now have 2 firsts in 2025, and for right now, 2 firsts in 2026. I know you mentioned that on Brody's stream. Yeah, that guy. So we'll see. I know there are a lot of people asking for a Brandon Coe move, or maybe some sort of minor league move. They have to be on the roster by noon tomorrow.
I got to tell you that, am I the only one who's kind of like just shocked? What you're talking about, a team that has Nurse and like, am I wrong? Like, are any of these people injured? But you're talking about a team that has Nurse, Ekholm, Bouchard, Brett Kulak, Klingberg, Troy Stetcher, and your choice was to add more defense instead of, I don't know, making a play for Vanacek or John Gibson or somebody else.
Yeah, I know Ekholm did not play Thursday night against Montreal.
But do they know Walman is a defenseman and not a goalie?
Maybe there's another move coming up for Edmonton. I don't know. Might not be done yet. MJ asking, does Cunningham get moved? We're expecting a move tomorrow.
I mean, if we can talk Edmonton today, and thinking Cunningham's a goalie, yeah, he gets moved.
Yeah, but I think we're a lot of things talking about maybe he's going to Toronto.
Okay. Lacey says that the Oilers do need to add a defenseman. That's fine, but I just, like, on my list of needs, I feel like I would put, goalie above defenseman when it's Skinnerd and Pickard.
Yeah, makes sense in that case. So let's reiterate the trade one more time. San Jose acquires forward Carl Berglund, most likely headed to the Barracuda, along with a conditional 2026 first-round pick, top 12 protected.
Wouldn't it have been great if the Sharks could have, like, rented Askarov to the Oilers? Just, like, rent him there, and then we automatically get him back.
Right. Edmonton gets Jake Walman back, who arguably was San Jose's best defenseman all year long on there. Uncle Danfy, Oilers trade for Arundel, maybe?
Sure, why not? And Jerry making a great point. Gibson has been part of the trade block so long, it's disintegrated. I don't understand what the hell is going on with Anaheim when you consider the Zegras situation and the Gibson situation. Who the hell is running stuff over there?
And the tough part is this Gibson continues to get injured, which has been a tough part of him over the last few years. Which partly might be why teams have backed off away from grabbing him.
And seeing that's the whole thing is I would love to know where Gibson would be had he been moved 3 or 4 seasons ago when he should have been.
Yeah.
And then you
And
see what's going on with the Zegras thing and that whole nightmare. It's just,
yeah. Yeah. And
Anaheim is the Chicago of California? What?
just a sad rebuild, I think, is what Marty's saying.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
Barracuda fourth line suddenly has 2 6'5" forwards to put with Saber in a hole. Jeez.
So okay, who are they protecting? Who are they running?
Gushin and Bordelot. I mean, come on.
I guess.
So
well, and like we said earlier, I mean, Cardwell and Cagnoni, not the guys that aren't really tilting the scale too hard.
Yeah, so they got some grit down there. Might need it for the playoffs. Yeah. So as for the Sharks, playoffs, we can only imagine in a couple of years there. So
hold on, dude. Patrick, the Felix retweeted this from Patrick Williams, AHL. This is great. Says hockey is weird when you explain it to non-hockey people. Quote, yes, this person has to decide at 2 a.m. if he's going to move from North Carolina to Texas for a job, but only if he can negotiate a new contract for millions of dollars. And he just moved a few weeks ago from Denver. When you put it in that context, it really is like, God damn, like this is the part. If you're, a low-level player, man, you just must dread the month of March.
Oh, I was kind of talking about that with Dana on After Dark, is that the emotional part, the stress, the anxiety of it all. I mean, it had to play in an effect into the guys tonight when they lost 7-3. But I mean, you gotta be nervous about it.
I'm sorry, did you say the Sharks lost earlier?
Yes, the Sharks did lose 7-3.
That's terrible.
If you want more info on that, you can check out the After Dark that happened earlier tonight, or
it's terrible.
Late last night if you're watching this in the morning.
I mean, I guess the good thing, if you want to be the silver lining guy, I guess, is you sit there and go, well, the Sharks didn't take back Corey Perry. There's your silver lining.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Obviously, Sharks probably making one more move. I'm trying to think of everything who was on this team, starting with the Blackwood trade. So we had Blackwood, Granlund, CC.
Hold on. I got you.
Go for it.
Because I already planned on covering this anyway.
Yep.
So if you think about it from like the last deadline-ish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming in, Vanacek in a 2025 7th for Kakinen, who, if I remember correctly, didn't Kakinen get traded earlier today?
He got traded to the Florida Panthers for Chris Krieger.
Probably should have went to Edmonton. Anyway, so Vanacek in a 2025 7th to the Sharks for Kakinen. Then you get Blackwood and Giovanni Smith going out, coming in Georgiev Kovalenko, a 2025 5th rounder, a 2026 2nd rounder. Then we just talked about Vanacek. Vanacek gets shipped out for Giles. A 2028 5th goes out for Desjardins. Granlund and CC go to Dallas for a 2025 1st and a 2025 4th. Then you get Sturm and a 27 7th for a 26 4th. And now you have Walman going out for a 1st rounder in 26, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because they don't have the 25th. So the 26th, and then in Berglund, which is, again, like a bag of pucks. And, of course, a couple of those have conditions that, if we're honest, have no way in hell of being met. I mean, dude, the 2025 5th round pick going to San Jose could become the worst of Colorado's 2 fourth rounders if 2 of 3 conditions are met. And it's like Blackwood starts 30 games. Yeah, that's probably going to happen. I think tonight was his 25th. But it's Blackwood wins 25 games. And I think he's like
I think he got 17 tonight.
Yeah, 17, and they only have like what 18, 17 left. So the chances of him tacking on another 8, maybe. But if you're betting on it, probably not going to happen. And then the third stipulation is the Avalanche reach the Western Conference Final. I mean, anything can happen once you make the playoffs. I'm just saying, odds are, statistically, it's not going to happen. It could, but statistically, probably won't. And then for the other one that I'd mentioned, which was what? The Granlund and Ceci, the 2025 fourth round could bump up to a third if the Stars advance to the Cup final this season. Again, could that happen? Absolutely. The likelihood of it happening on the low end, I would say.
Oh, unless they get Rantanen.
Still, man, it's if Winnipeg stays playing Winnipeg, I mean, but then again, if Hellebuck is playoff Hellebuck, all bets are off.
Right. Absolutely. For what it's worth, Blackwood has played 26 games and 17-7-2. So getting close to those numbers.
Played 26, but started 25.
Yes.
So that's, again, that factors in. He has to start 30 games, not play in 30 games.
Well, five
more games, should be no doable. Problem. But how many wins does he have right now?
He has 17.
17. So, yeah, he's going to have to win 8 more with what, 18 left?
What is 20? Hang on, let me get
what does Colorado have left on their schedule?
They have 19 games left.
All right. So, I mean, if Blackwood can start half of those
and win.
Well, I was going to say he literally has to win all of the games he starts, or like 8 of 9, or 9, or 8 of 10. Again, could happen, happen. But again, it's one of those things that when you're a team, or when you're rooting for a team that has no hope in hell of making the playoffs, like we are for the Sharks, it's the little things that you keep an eye on. This is one of them, just like Celebrini's bonuses.
Yep.
That's
the little things.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, we can at least keep an eye on that.
Yeah. Twansky, do you see us as sellers again next season, assuming we make a couple of decent free agent pickups this offseason?
No. Because who the hell are we going to sell? God damn it, I did it again. Don't mean we. Who the hell are the Sharks going to sell? Aside, maybe Ferraro? But I look at it, we're going to get to a point, and I think somebody else had made the point when they were talking about Walman, was like, hey, Greer, you do realize you have to hold on to at least 1 or 2 vets in order to, help drive the boat forward.
Yeah.
But who would you move next season? Who's out of their contract? I mean, I don't want to say Liljegren. I think Liljegren at this point would, at 25 years old, 1 more year left. Yeah, I think I would. I've liked what I've seen from him so far. Maybe he's being asked to do a little more than he should. That seems to be the modus operandi for the Sharks so far when it comes to the blue line. But I would keep Liljegren around. Maybe they dangle Ferraro. Wouldn't surprise me. No one's taking Vlasic. And then Desjardins, I mean, give me a break. So, I mean, what other pieces are coming up? Couture's going nowhere. Toffoli's going nowhere. Wenberg, maybe Wenberg.
Maybe Dellandrea.
Oh Jesus! If Delandry is here next season, oh shit, he is on contract for it. Yeah, dude, nobody's taking Delandria. Sorry, not digging. Did you see that? Do you think he's going to get supplemental discipline tonight?
If he doesn't, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, as would I.
Yeah.
So I think Wenberg, if Wenberg continues on the path that he's currently on, I think that is the only significant piece the Sharks have to move next season. And again, that's another player that I kind of look at like Walman. Like, you still want a vet around that can help steer. I don't want to use that silly, play the right way thing, but be the guy who's going to help mentor the youth. Wenberg and Walman, I think, are two really solid pieces. Well, now Walman's gone. Wenberg has already been given the A.
Yeah.
So I think Wenberg is probably like the big piece that you're going to see for, for
next trade deadline.
Yeah, that's going to be the piece that gets traded or dangled at the deadline. Yeah. Not to mention that, for all we know, during this offseason, maybe Greer picks up a piece or two of guys that are, on their last deal, on their last year of a deal, and, said, hey, come over here. Let's see if we can't, let's see if we can't Vanacek you. Let's see if we can't Walman you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Looking at the John Mavarudis. Sorry if I botched that up. I feel like I did. I thought Walman was the future. Kind of shocked he was moved. I thought he has a great year.
29 years old, buddy.
Yeah, well, I thought he'd at least kind of be that bridge defenseman to get it to
agreed.
For that. Molasses saying Wenberg is the Cooch replacement. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what we were expecting this year, and I think we mentioned that when he got signed. I mean, spot on with that. So we'll see.
I don't know. I'd have to dive deeper into that.
Not necessarily goal scoring wise or clutch and of sorts, but I think to take that 2C spot. So,
all right, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, future considerations. Walman, not easy to replace, but is 100% replaceable. He's a middle 4 offensive defenseman. Yeah,
I mean, but here, that's the funny thing, though. A middle 4 offensive defenseman. Whereas for the Sharks, he's the number 1 defenseman. Going back to the point I was making earlier, skinniest kid at fat camp. It's literally what he is. The other thing that you got to look into as well is, does Greer look into keeping Costin around?
Right.
Let's say, hypothetically, for whatever reason, Greer is unable to find a dance partner to take Luke Cunnin. Does Greer try to extend him, re-sign him, whatever, because he's going to be UFA? Or do you let him go? At 27 years old, 2.7, I don't know if he's going to want to raise, but is that even though he's wearing an A, is that a guy that you're going to want to keep around?
Right. Well, everybody gushes about him.
They do. They do. But it's funny you use the word gush when there's, a gushing down there.
Right.
So some of these kids are going to have to try to make the jump.
Yeah.
And, for me, the big one is Zetterlund. Zetterlund is a piece that you keep. And let's be honest, I'd be shocked if he doesn't get double what he's making.
Yeah.
Right now he's only making 1.4. I'd be surprised if they don't say, okay, take this 3-year bridge deal, sir, at 2.8. Help us get to the next level, get to the playoff bubble. He seems to love it here.
Yeah. Loves Drew. Seems to love the kids. It's and Lacey saying Zetterlund has arb rights too. Yep.
Drew, it's funny. He was on with he did a thing with Tolbert earlier, and he was talking about how Zetterlund, and I'm trying to remember who the other cat was, but he said they kind of had this yin yang thing where Zetterlund is kind of loud and can be a little obnoxious, and is really, I think maybe it's Eklund. Zetterlund is kind of, bouncing off the walls kind of guy, has a loud kind of personality, whereas Eklund's kind of quiet. They're kind of a yin and yang thing. And it's he was kind of comparing a little bit to Wingles and Hurdle, in just that they just have, not that one guy's loud and one guy's quiet. It's just that they each have a personality that for some reason complements the other, and it works well.
I completely concur on that. So I think that's it. Welcome to Friday morning, everyone.
Yeah, is the Rantanen thing go through yet?
No, not yet. I was kind of like, I don't know how we've been on for 45 minutes for this, but somehow, it hasn't gone through yet. I'm just laughing that, a player agent and a general manager are probably up at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning right now trying to figure out, can you sign?
The amounts of coffee being consumed among NHL front offices right now would make, Juan Valdez jealous. It's just,
right.
They're just counting their money.
All right. With that, we are going to wrap this up.
Hold on. No. We're going to discuss the comment that Sharky Boy just left. How much money to stay up until the trade goes through? Which trade, sir?
I'm assuming
the Rantanen one.
The Rantanen one.
Then my response is, how much you got? That's what I'm saying. If you and Uncle Damphy want to get together, I got nowhere to be.
Later.
I will start talking about guitars. I will start just making up shit. Whatever.
42?
That ain't gonna get it done. But
nope.
Good.
No, 42 is not gonna get it done.
$42. $42 won't get me to come on for any reason whatsoever.
Oh boy. All right.
$42 won't even buy 2 dozen eggs today. Come on. Sharky Boy putting his dollar where his mouth is.
99 cents. Thank you, Sharky Boy, for your super chat. Oh man.
Oh, now it's gone from 42 to 420. All right. I think you're ahead by about 13 days. I'm interested to see how many people when we do our Easter show. Oh yeah, it's wrong month, dumbass. Yeah, I can't wait to see that our Easter show. It's going to be
season finale.
It's the season finale of the Pucknologist, but I love that it's on Easter, and Easter happens to be 420. So I hope you guys are eating chocolate Cadbury eggs while like smoking the ganj. We're all going to be like on a chocolate caffeine high, but also like really mellow about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
86 people watching. Can we
right now?
Yeah. We're
what the hell is going on, people?
We've been flirting with 85 to 100 people. So do me a favor, since you all are here, thumbs up, please. Get the thumb up going.
And you know what? And I never do this because I make fun of it, to be quite honest.
Of course.
I'm morbidly curious. Like there's a few people in here, like Lacey, obviously, Jerry, Felix, the people that, regulars I'm aware of from the Sunday show and everything like that. Anybody else? I mean, like future considerations, but if you're talking that we've got like 80 plus people watching.
Yes.
Can you just like put in the city that you're watching from? Because I'm dying to know, like, is there somebody is like watching this from the UK because it's like 8 a.m. there and they're morbidly curious. Like, please.
Yeah, right.
If you're watching, or if they're in Hawaii and they're like, nah, man, we're just getting our luau on because it's, it's only 9 o'clock.
We did have a person from Kauai on earlier.
Beautiful. Love it.
Let's see what we got here. This is going to be fun. Twansky, Santa Cruz.
All
Good
right,
evening to you. Say hi to Nick Nolenberger.
But Big Bird in NY. All right.
Nice.
So, I mean, dude, it's 3:13, dude. What are you doing?
Anna Mark. Marty.
51st Day. Oh, Uncle in Campbell. Nice. Yeah, and I'm not trying to do the Brody roll call thing. I was just morbidly curious. Oh my God, Nova Scotia 4 in the morning. Dude, the grease is waiting for the Rantanen to come through.
Right.
From hell.
Oh, you're in Brentwood.
Shout out Greece.
Now, John, up here Brentwood or down south Brentwood? Just curious about that.
All right, Christopher to San Jose, Sharky to Santa Clara. All right. Oh, Tyga.
Oh, yeah, in Brisbane.
Of course.
In Australia, about to get it hit by a cyclone today.
Oh, Ontario. Nice, dude.
Yes. Oh, Peterborough. Nice.
Oh, very cool.
In Fresno. Okay.
Man, meth capital of the world. Nice.
Yeah. But Tiger, all the best to you. I know I mentioned it in the Discord earlier, but all the best to you, and hope you're safe. Get through that cyclone. So.
Oh my God! Medkitch is saying St. Louis. That's got to be 2:14 in the morning.
Aptos originally. Aptos Barbecue. Shout out. Yeah.
Oh, dude, loves me some Aptos. SoCal, Santa Cruz, Capitola,
Chula Vista.
Nice.
The hometown of Sharks' very first goal scorer, Craig Cox.
Literally going to Santa Cruz tomorrow night for a little cocktail and reading hour.
Disco Bay, nice.
Very Disco Bay. Oh, if I remember correctly, I believe John was on with in Brody's chat earlier as well.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Yes, Craig Cox, the very first goal scorer in Sharks history from Chula Vista, California. So you love to see it there.
Cool. And in fact, the shirt that I'm wearing literally says Monterey, California on it.
Nice.
And it literally, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a shark mooning.
We can get in trouble there. We gotta be careful. Very nice.
Yeah, don't want to have some. We don't want to break a YouTube rule of nudity.
Yes. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But they showed shark crack, animated cartoon shark crack. We must ding them.
Let's not and say we didn't. All right. I think we're good here. In case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or wherever you get our podcasts. You're going to get 2 podcasts loaded up shortly. Again, as we mentioned, if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that like button. If you're watching the replay, leave a comment down below on what you thought of this trade and more. And of course, hit the notification bell. That'll let you know when we do go on the air, including later this morning. Can't believe we're saying that. Later this morning.
Good luck, Jules.
Good luck, Jules. and watch, the Luke Cunnin trade will happen at 8 o'clock in the morning. So hope everybody gets some sleep. It should be an interesting Friday. AJ, last words?
I'm wondering what Big Bird means about new uniforms, but aside from that, I'm going to as soon as we log off here, before my head hits the pillow, I'm gonna preload my Juan Valdez, so it's waiting for me when I wake up.
Good. I'm gonna be going to bed. Is that final?
No way. Is that bullshit? Or are you for real? Don't bullshit me, man. It's too late for this nonsense.
I'm not seeing it yet. Oh, just kidding. Boo.
Really? Oh, okay. Fucking time him out for 5 minutes. You asshole.
Heart tomato.
It's way too late for that.
We're going to bed.
Yeah, that's some bullshit, dude. Way too late for that nonsense. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. What's this? All right. Adrian Dater saying, well, a likely Avs Stars first round matchup just got a lot more interesting.
Oh, isn't that truth?
So it sounds like, like maybe Sharky Boy was on to something and didn't realize it.
So right now, Colorado has the first wild card, which means they would get the second best team to win their division, which right now it would be Colorado, Vegas, Edmonton, LA, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Dallas, Minnesota. With Vancouver point out, St. Louis 2 points out, Utah 3 points out.
So it sounds like the majority of this is it's all hinging on whether Rantanen can put together some sort of extension.
Yeah, and when that happens, then he'll go to Dallas. And some people have been saying Stankoven, Marchment, in a first to Carolina.
Lacey saying Dater might be referring to some other shit. So
all right, that's true too.
Yeah. And Dater, nice for as nice as he was to have coffee with Lacey and I like 10 years ago. I know that sometimes he's also had some, shall we say, questionable tweets here and there. Right. And I'll leave it at that.
All right. For AJ, I am Eric. Jules will be with you at 10 a.m. in the morning. Keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real, Teal, and have a good sleep, have a good morning, have a good night.
Nap.
Yeah, nap. That's probably the best one. Thank you. Night, everyone.